I am your colleague from CIPM. We're here for a master class series, and the discussion we're going to have this morning will be on business intelligence, strategy, and leadership for HR leaders. You must agree with me that gone are the days when HR, let's call it personnel management, used to be an administrative function. Now HR has taken, it's on the very front burner for businesses, and we must be very relevant. For us to have the understanding of our role as human resource professionals, it's important that we are able to dissect the strategy of a business. And you can't understand this too well except you have business intelligence information. And then, we can't just be HR if we don't understand the dynamics of leadership. To help us break down this session, which is going to last for approximately an hour, 30 minutes, the last 15 minutes of the session will be for questions. To lead us in the discussion is a member of the associate. His name is Mr. Sebastine Okeke. He's an experienced consultant. Please, can we welcome him with a grand applause?
Good morning, friends. Hopefully, I will attempt two things. Firstly, to see if I could talk without using this thing in my hand. Let me try it. Can anyone hear me at the back there? Can you hear me clearly? So I'm stuck with this. Okay, congratulations. All right, great. So now we're going to go through this. It's going to be engaging because it's always not the nicest thing to do to be talking to your colleagues, particularly senior fellows who are here. So I would attempt to declare that the learning is going to be more from your experiences, and then I'll be sharing frameworks on how we're going to make it happen. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. So please don't expect a teaching. We are all professionals, and so I'll be sharing thoughts with you. Now I want to give you some basic statistics of some very current work that was done before I show you the slides. This was done by Pay Scale Human Capital, 2015 framework on compensation, and they came up with some metrics that I want us to just take a look at. They said as of 2009, retention was about 25% of what worries employers. That of all the things that worry employers, retention was just about 25%. But as of 2015, retention is 57%. Do you agree with that? Okay, which means the metrics and the parameters are changing, and the expectations are also changing. Okay, and being able to define the value and the worth of work is also changing. Okay, many of you have spent a lot of time trying to do job evaluations, is that true? Okay, trying to identify the worth of the works you're paying for, and you still discover that despite all of that, you've still not been able to crack this issue of keeping your top talents and making them relevant for the future of the organization. And most of you also are aware with me, like I do, that loyalty for long term is gone. Is that true? Okay, for most companies, it's actually gone. And for most of you that work in what we call the next or the third level organizations, you know, somehow we have level 1, level 2, level 3 organizations. Level 1 is the most preferred place to work. Level 2 is maybe to work. Level 3 is I don't have a job, let me work here. I mean? All right, so oftentimes you discover that level 3 companies end up what we call the residual talent, which is after the big boys have taken out the talent, you are stuck with what you have. How do you not define the worth of their contribution and measure it in terms of metrics, in terms of numbers, and relate it to the stakeholders' expectations for your organization? To what extent do you, as an HR person, speak to the business and not just speaking to employee matters? All right? So we want to share some of these thoughts with us, and hopefully we want to learn from your spaces. Again, we are mixed here. We have public sector practitioners and private sector practitioners. Is that true? Yeah. All right, so which means in these phases, we also have different concerns. Some of the numbers I will share with you might be easy to deploy within the private sector environment. In the public sector environment, probably looking at some other modifications to those parameters. Okay, so we'll run through this and we'll be able to make it happen. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, that is just a little bit about what we're talking about and what I try to do. My manager is in the room today, so please don't. I'll be very careful. My wife, she's somewhere here, so please just take it easy with me. Is that okay? All right, so now run through this. So HR strategy, of course, a roadmap and a guide. I'll try to just give you the framework of what defines strategy. From HR perspective, HR strategy is purely a roadmap on how we move from where we are to where we want to be. Are we okay with that? All right, so in between where we are and where we want to be are streams of interventions. Now, the responsibility we have is to define what makes up the interventions. Oftentimes, when you see people tell us the tenure they stay, the tenure of the entire organization, they tell us the start date and the end date. Is that true? I joined this company in 2005 and I left in 2012. Is that not what you see? What happened between 2005 and 2012 is what I'm talking about today. Those things that come between the dash lines. All right, so that's basically what it does. It tells us about how the company positions itself within its environment to reach its clear maximum potential of expectation. So let me go into the room now and ask you, in your practices, just about a few of us, talk to me. What have been your most demanding task on your desk? The most demanding. I'm talking about minor things. Things that when you think about it at night, you wake up and you start thinking, what am I doing here? Talk to me quickly. Most pressing task on your desk. Share with us. Yes, sir.
It's convincing people to accept a new vision.
Convincing people to accept a new vision. Convincing people. What is it?
Staff, colleagues.
But somehow I know how to squeeze words and get through from my lecturers. Is that okay? Convincing, is that correct? People to accept, is that what you said? A new vision. Talk to me, yes.
Aligning roles to business strategy. The roles of people in
Aligning roles to business strategy. Okay, let's even take that up quickly. Which should come first? The business strategy or the people strategy?
Business strategy.
Why?
It will determine the kind of people you will.
Can someone talk to us? Why should the business strategy come first before the people strategy? Yes?
Because that should drive everything everyone is working on.
Okay, if you drive everything everyone is working on. Okay? Any other reason why that should be? That's what brought people together. Excellent. What else again? Talk to me. Why should the business strategy lead before the people strategy?
That is a basic platform upon which you can now build.
Okay, that's the platform, isn't it? Which means if you don't have that platform, you're not building anything. Because you'll be building against nothing. Is that true? Remember the rule, you can't build on nothing. Is that true? Excellent. First, anyone again, why must the business strategy precede people strategy?
It gives you direction.
Gives direction. Excellent. And what? Cohesion, absolutely. Brilliant. So which means we must birth the vision or the strategy for the organization, then we now situate on it the talent strategy. What other strategy will sit on the business strategy? Talk to me. What other strategy, what other piece of framework should sit on that corporate strategy? Talk to me, someone. Yes, sir. Competitive strategy. Now, one of the good news for you in the class is you don't introduce grammar you are not aware if I have the meaning of it. Right? So before you introduce any word, just do a quick rethink. Will Sebastine understand what you're talking about? I know you understand that. I'm just trying to escape from one and then compete. What's competitive? Talk to me, you're right.
If you are around your parents.
Competitive in what space?
Marketing.
Market strategy. Okay? What else again? Talk to me. What other strategy should sit on the business strategy?
Compensation strategy.
Compensation should be incorporated in your entire talent framework. You should speak to that. You should address all things that have to do with people. What else again should sit there? Okay, your growth strategy is very important. In other words, how do you want to grow from where we are to where we be? As an HR person, why is that important to you as an HR person? Yes. One. Okay, can someone build from that? Why am I interested in market strategy? Yes.
To go beyond your competitors.
Go beyond my competitors. Yes, talk to me. What is it? Why am I interested? Thanks. Yes. Quickly. Why is it important to me?
To employ the right talent.
Employ the right talent. I need chocolate. Oh, sorry. Are you situate my talent mix to the market expectation. Are we correct here? Because if I want to drive an aggressive marketing strategy, then I better bring in people who also. Are you okay with that? And there are quite a lot of tools to help us do that. Okay, I use the creative index. Okay, that PI, that's what I use, because quickly I can tell you if this employee has the stretch for that kind of space. If people that have the capacity not to be managed, and not to be managed, or who are self-managing. I don't want to bring in people who want to hit the ground running. Not those who hit the ground and they are calling you every time from head office. I just spoke to one man today. Who should I send to him tomorrow? Am I communicating? Then you end up discovering that you have created a incremental headache for yourself. And over time, trust me, gray hair will locate you wherever you are. Are we together on that? So I need to understand the marketing strategy to know if the marketing strategy is a push strategy, an aggressive strategy, a cost-based strategy, a market, whatever the marketing strategy is, it defines it. Now, quick one more question. Assuming the marketing strategy had been defined already, or in the course of our working as an organization, we had decided to change our marketing strategy. I already have people on ground based on the principal strategy. What do I do? Talk to me. I have people based on what we're doing. Now we have changed what we do, how we push to the market. What do I do with my team? Talk to me quickly. Yes. I train. I need to develop my people. Okay, what else do I do? Talk to me quickly. Let's even start it from point one. You guys are professionals. So what do? The marketing strategy has changed. My people remain the same. What do I do? Talk to me. What's the first thing I need to do at that point? Yes? Employment? Redeployment? Retraining? What should be my first job? What should I do first? Yes, talk to me. Evaluation, absolutely. I need to do an audit of the system. The audit will tell me what to do. Am I communicating here? I don't just jump into people because we have changed the let's train everybody. It might not work. I need to do an immediate audit of my people to understand who is what are they doing differently, what's the capacity house, how would that help us speak to the future? Are we okay? That was in our generation. Okay? But then what I'm saying is that no one drug fixes all sicknesses. Are we okay with that? We must have the capacity to check the case again and be sure we're doing the right thing. Okay, fine. So let's go. Alright, so game plan for us to look at how it works. There are a couple of things that I'll be interested in couching my people strategy. I look at external environment. Why is it important to me in order to develop a strategy for my organization? Why would I be interested in what happens outside of my organization? Talk to me quickly, someone.
Because the outside environment are declining. So we need to also take them into consideration.
Absolutely. What is it you're talking about? Why is the external environment important for me as a practitioner within our organization?
The macro will determine whatever happens.
You what? Can we show them the big man? So they just come to our class. Please make it simple for us. That's it. I beg.
Your business operates within, a larger society.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you must understand
what goes on there. That is what he meant by that microservice. Excellent. So talk to me, sir. Regulation. Why would I be interested? Why would I need to know about that? Absolutely. I need to know what goes on in the environment to enable me to make sure I don't come up with framework or strategy or intervention that are going to violate my business. Talk to me, sir. Why is it interesting for me to know what happens around me? I don't have full control of that environment. We're going to do something today. It's called the factor combinations of your SWOT analysis. You know the SWOT has 4 parameters. We're going to discuss how to combine the factors to define your strategic interventions. For example, how do I combine strengths? How does my strength speak to my weaknesses or strength speak to my opportunities? If I have strength to speak to opportunities, what kind of intervention should I put on the table? We're going to do that later today. Are you okay with that? Excellent. Brilliant. So you know what? The external must be interesting for me because I'm going to develop policy that will not work in isolation. Is that true? And my policy should also speak to the environment where my business operates. Are we together on that? Excellent. So I'm going to do that. Internal, talk to me. What is the makeup of my internal environment? What makes up the internal environment? The staff, Other function, process. I hate that word, process. Very crazy. Talk to me, President. Finance. Absolutely. What is it? Internal. Culture, leadership. Oh, you got it. Leadership. What is it again? Internal. So what? But shareholders. They are seriously, in fact, as a matter of fact, whenever you oftentimes, we don't always try to consider the shareholders' expectation. Many times you're actually blinded to the expectation. They are the blind spot of many HR. But I found it very funny. Because if you look at your cost to employees and cost to shareholders, most times your cost to employees keep rising. And your reward to shareholders keeps falling. Have you noticed in some institutions? Until the company gets to a point where there is an incremental growth in terms of incentive value. I mean, if you have a business that's probably turned in the total employee cost in a year of about 4 billion, total employee cost in a year of about 4 billion. Do you think that business pays its shareholders 4 billion a year? I'm asking. Alright, so which means there must be a need for us to begin to align cost to employee and reward to shareholders. And be able to see the match in terms of efficiency and improvement within that space. We'll look at that later too. Are we together? Excellent. So it's important for me to look at that. I need to also be aware that I am conscious of my desired position, but I am leaping from my present position. Where am I today? Let's take a pseudo company. Sebastine Limited. Are you okay with that? Okay, Sebastine Limited. Let's put the profile. Sebastine Limited. Okay, let me make it easy for you. Samsung. Please, my wife is here. There's no company called Samsung. I'm just using this for class purposes. Alright, so Samsung Limited is the company. Let's say turnover. To be nice, 35 million. Turnover. Let's say profits after tax. To be nice, maybe 350 million. If I have a business like this, turnover is 35 million, profit after tax is 350 million. Tell me what are other things I should consider that probably give back to this kind of turnover, profit after tax. I have a business, revenue in a year was 35 million. The profit I made after I paid my taxes was just 350 million. What is happening in this company? My cost is high. What else again is talking to you? You're talking. What are the things that make up this show? For me, see, we're HR people, we're talking business now. So, what could have happened here? 35 billion revenue in a year, 350 billion after taxes paid.
Operational costs are operational costs.
What does this say to you? This says to me, what's the company tax rate? What's the company income tax rate? And 19? Can we see ourselves?
30%.
It's actually 30%. It's average of 30%. We should know this. So what that means is that this amount here was a particular 100%, and we had removed 30% of that. So this was 70%. Are we okay with this? So this is 70% of the profit before tax. That will happen. So if you now decode what the 30% would have been and add it to this number, it probably tells you the profit you had before you pay your taxes. So talk to me. What are the things that would have driven this? Talk to me. What? Operational cost? It's also possible there are third-party costs. Third-party costs probably mean that there's certain money that came in through us, but not our money. Are we together? Maybe we also have certain network of partners in what we provide to our clients. So when they pay us that money, we pay back those people. So when you have that kind of route, the money went through you. So when you're communicating to employees, because employees are seeing this as revenue, and I wonder why we paid so little. Am I communicating to you? Then you're able to communicate to them back. You know what, friends? 35 billion actually came in, but of this 35 billion, only 15 billion was our money. Are we together, friends? Yeah. Which means There's a difference between the total billings that came to you and what you classify as your revenue. This 35 billion actually was like the billings. We billed and clients paid. However, it did not make up our total revenue. Our revenue only came after we have sorted out the interests of third parties who were supposed to be part of the loop in providing the solution to the clients. Am I talking English? No. Considered all of this. My corporate planning would have talked about the total framework for which I want to grow the business, and I look at the strategic planning that now situates itself on this. Now let's talk about gap, because that is where the analytics comes in. When you have a skill gap, what will it give birth to? When there's a skill gap, what will it give birth to? Yes? Huh? I didn't hear that. Low performance. Yes, inefficiency. Training needs. Skills gap will bear. There's a word for it in practice. Skills gap will lead to performance gaps. So let's get it. Okay, so performance gap will lead to opportunity. And when we have opportunity gaps, what I said to us is that we are not able to take advantage of the opportunities that the market provides for us. Are we okay with that? And the reason why we can't do that is because we don't have enough. We don't have the right mix of skills, so we're not able to provide the level of performance, and so we're not able to deliver on the opportunity that come to us. So what does that mean at the end of the day? Talk to me briefly. When there is drop in, when we are not able to maximize or fully appropriate opportunities, what happens to us as a business? Talk to me. There's a drop in revenue? Absolutely. So you can link the loop quickly. So as practitioners of HR, I'm interested therefore in ensuring that my business has the right skills at the right time. Because the right skills develop emotions and sentiments. Bringing in the right people will deliver the right performance. Are we together here? Does that speak to us? Brilliant. Just talk to me. Behavior. Talk to me. Where does behavior come into this? Competencies. Performance incorporates the competencies. We call it the pitch. The head, the heart, and the hands. Can I explain that again? We have the head. We have the heart, and we have the hands. So, how does that speak to us? Head talks about the strategic thinking, the connection to the job, the framework and other stuff. Heart talks about behavioral, the attitude to the job. So, performance doesn't happen until these three things are functional. Then the hand talks about operational. So there are three levels of competency that every HR person must look at for. Do we have the competencies to deliver on the head level, the strategic competency? Who in our organization delivers these funds? Do we have the heart competency? Over time, we discover that either for here or for here, heart must run through, which means the behavioral and the articulate balance must speak to my head competency as well as to speak to my hands competency. My hands competency talks about my operational skills. I'm going to get the job done. The rhetorics and the grammar may sit in terms of intelligence and frameworking and presentation and all this stuff. But when it has to do to get the job done, can we get the job done? That is called execution. So performance is not effective from an HR perspective if behavior and attitude is there. Are we together on that page? Because it's nice working with him, but the guy is good. Ultimately, you're going to lose it, or lose another talent, or lose the business. Am I connected? Yeah. So, that is it. So, in other words, for me, attitude speaks to performance. Because performance speaks to retention of business. Is that true? Okay, so. Are we good to run? Okay, fine. Thanks. Brilliant. Then, let's run quickly. Our time is just running like we don't have business. Now, this is what I'm trying to put together to just capture how the whole thing works together. Environmental scanning is key. Okay, talk to me. We'll talk about that earlier, isn't it? That is evaluating your environment before you start sitting out to develop your policies or your strategy. If you are devoid of what happens in your environment, you probably would not even know that the policies you are putting up is non-magnetic. Am I communicating to you? You probably think it's new, and then you show up and discover, wait a minute, 10 people have done it before you show up. All right? Now, how many of you know about the strategy, old strategy called first to market advantage? Anyone know about that before? The first mover advantage. Do you know that it has been modified now to the last mover advantage? I was shocked that in the technology world, for example, they're not interested in the first mover advantage anymore. That the technology players actually like the last mover advantage. Why would they prefer that to the first mover advantage? Talk to me. Exactly, because the first mover would have made some mistakes and everything, then they don't see that as what's happening to him, they'll come after him, and that is what brought Samsung to where it is today. You know Samsung? Apple was always taking first mover, they just keep quiet and watch it. Before Apple would wake up in the morning, Samsung has replicated, modified, identified the problem, come up with something new. So even in organizations, while it is nice to have the first mover advantage, there's also a benefit as well in the other hand. Alright, but for me as an HR person, I'm interested in which advantage you are taking care of. Whichever one that comes, you must come strong. Are you okay with that? Brilliant. So let's scan the environment again. I'm interested in what our value statement is, our value statement, because the values we hold as a business defines the way we go to our markets. If your internal values are not strong enough to project your expectations, remember the operational priorities must be defined. In other words, why are we set up as a business? We are set up to produce cosmetics. Are we okay? That's what SARS does. SARS Limited produces cosmetics. That's what we are set up. Who uses cosmetics? Talk to me quickly. Ladies and gentlemen too. Some converted men. Someone was telling me that the price for men wristwatch has gone up. I said, yes, it did. When ladies showed up. You know, ladies are taking over the wristwatch for men. Now the thing has gone up. So I'm begging them carefully, please. Slow down it is. But let's come back to class, okay? Now, we produce that. So what's important for me is that as an HR person, I come into an organization that produces that. Now what am I doing? Asking myself, number one, who are the target market for this product? Cosmetics can be pitched on 3 levels. Are we okay? It can be pitched for premium users, are we correct? And it can also be pitched for the middle class and for Nigerians, for the masses. Most people they come, each time I hear people call us masses, I just laugh. So we have the top level, the middle level, and the masses. Is that true? Now, if you are pitched for premium brand, what kind of talent do I need to bring on the table? Talk to me, my sales target. Talk to me quickly. Sales target. I'm a premium brand organization. The objective there is to produce more that comes to that level. Talk to me. Let me start with sales. Who do I bring in to deliver? Talk to me. Sales. Talk to me. What kind of niche delivered by sales companies? You want to participate in this? Top notch talent, multilateral exposure. Talk to me, yes? Relevant experience. What is relevant experience? Talk to us, please. I've been hearing that word for a long time. Yes, can we just demystify it in this people? What is relevant experience? Already? Okay. Somebody working for a competition and then bring you to come and join you. Wonderful. Talk to me. Who do I need? My sales team.
They have high network themselves.
High network themselves. People that by their own pitch, the brain is pitched for the top. Whether we like it or not, people are pitched differently by virtue of exposure. And so I only want to bring in people to man that market-facing responsibility whose pitch is not at that level. Because somebody will be telling you, you mean this bottle of cream is 12,000 naira? And you don't say, but it's only, that's how they asked me to tell you. Am I complicating it? Because even, he can't see even the person selling can't even see why on it. Should we sell this little bottle for? Many years ago when I was to go to university, my mother packaged me for university. He gave me those yellow, those yellow cream? Now that doesn't finish in 6 years. Stella cream? For maid. You are there. It was a huge box. And my mother gave it to me, said, my son, this is the cream for your 4-year program. That cream was not meant to finish until I leave university. Then I showed up with my cream, very proud, and showed it up in the room. And my roommate looked at me and wondered if I came to play here. Because when they came up with their own, you could see the difference in terms of branding. I'm not communicating here. My taste level was just comfortable with that cream. Meanwhile, other people's taste level was. And when they showed up with what they had, what I had was looking completely out of touch. Number one, theirs was not even yellow. It was a little bit mixed with brown, white, completely different. I was saying, what's going on here? It's attraction to flies. That's what you mean. Now, but the point is that is just a picture. If for me, I can sell Stella. I could sell Stella that time. Stella doesn't need much marketing. I can sell it to you either for body or for hair or for nothing. I mean,
like what you said yesterday.
Yes.
What you said, you cannot put a 9x9 idea in a 4x4 mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The person won't sell it.
It will sell it. So you need to be, so which means my products and my target market are important parameters for me as an HR person. So when you step into that final selection process, I'll look at you and I'll look at my product. Am I communicating here? And I'm saying to myself, is there a fit here? I'm talking about developing a strategy. Then we talk about how you build content to support the strategy. Let's run because of our time. All right, all of this is viewed through. I clarify my vision and mission statement in terms of how it speaks to our business. I look at my strategy, therefore. My strategy must speak to this and must deliver my values. Then I look at the performance audit analysis. Very interesting. When you have situated your strategy, the performance of your strategy must be audited regularly. In other words, you must have a means within your system to check again and again if the strategy is working. Why is that important to you? Why is it important to check if the strategy is working? Help me out, please.
To ensure that there's an alignment.
Alignment? That's the one. What does it mean?
Results. Deliver results.
Is it possible that the parameters have changed? You know, it's possible that at the time I was couching the strategy, there were certain things I presume constant. Are we okay with that? It's possible that having launched my strategy, those things I had constant has moved. And if they've moved and I'm still holding on to what I have, I'm in trouble. Then woke up one morning and the cheese is gone. And someone now shouts, who moved my cheese? It's gone. All because I wasn't auditing and conducting a proper audit of the performance of the strategy. Okay? The tools to do that I'm going to share with you today. The effect tool, the effect tool, the effect is not, it's through internal framework on not effect, remember, that's the acronym, just for you to remember. Then I look at that. Then when I have done this, I'm going to identify some possible gaps. Is that okay? When I see the gaps, the next thing for me to do is to take up action on how to deal with the gaps. If the gaps are skills gap, I can see the end. What's the end of skills gap? Talk to me. What is the end of unattended skills gap? What's the end?
Opportunity gap.
Opportunity gaps. And what opportunity gap simply says is that we are losing markets. End of story. So I look at that. Then I drive into contingency planning. Why do you call it contingency planning? As it comes. Situational. The market just moved. You don't have to crash the entire strategy. Are we together here? You develop an immediate response to deal with that at that point in time. Your flexibility and your fluidity. Oh, this grammar has come down. We're trying to avoid it. Your fluidity. What's fluidity?
Seamless.
Seamless must be very important. You must have the capacity to know that no, we can't just break down the whole strategy because something changed in the quadrant. I will identify what has changed and identify what are the consequences of what has changed. And what do I do to deal with it? Are we together, friends? Then I move that into strategy implementation again after I revise that. Then I look at the impact evaluation. Which means, remember, I'm examining the performance midway. At the end of the cycle of the strategy, I look at the overall impact. Are we together, friends? Okay. Let's run because of our time. All right. So this is just all this we talked about our mental scanning. That petition, God is still there for that. So that's it first. Very clear for us to be sure that is working for us. Then we'll talk about the vision, mission, formulation framework. That's the top framework for that. And then we looked at how that works through with the system. And then we're now going to the strategy design. Okay, now we're going to walk through here and design the strategy for SARS Limited. Every organization provides an end benefit to its market. True or false? True. Are we all together? True or false? True. That end product to the market, each of them is a line of solution. And what that says to me from the point of strategy is that I must identify the major lines of solution that my organization makes available to the market. Then I also establish, therefore, the critical success factor for each line of solution. So let's run through this quickly. SARS Limited produces cosmetics. SARS Limited also produces. What else do they produce in cosmetic companies? Apart from creams and perfumes. What is it? Soap. So let's catch it. We have soap, we have creams, we have perfume. Are we together? Now, let's assume that for purpose of market enrichment, we have decided to flow in two streams of the market. The top and the middle one. Are we together? Which means we have classified our lines of solutions according to two lines. There's a line of solution for the top people, there's a line of solution for the middle. If that is the case, talk to me. What are the critical success factors that should deliver products to the middle level? Talk to me quickly. Middle class, can we classify them? Who are they? Give me the parameters. Number one, middle class, middle income earners. Yes, who are they? Give me the data. Talk to me. Talk to me. Who are the middle income earners? Young? They might not be young. Yes, talk to me. It's a function of revenue, not of income. So income is the determining factor of a class. It's not necessarily about age. Are we together here? Okay, so it's about income. Ability to, so most times you find most of the middle income guys are more salary earners. Is that not possible? So if they are salary earners, which means there's a lot of regulation as to what they spend with them, what they use their money on, and then that defines what will be their parameters. By virtue of demography, most of them fall within what a bracket. Talk to me. Most, not all.
45, 35 to 45.
30, 45. At 30, 45, what are the constraints on that generation? Talk to me. 30, 45, what happened to them? Talk to me. Starting families? Remember, when that guy was hired by your company, he was just about 28 years old. Let's bring it back a little. He was just 24. Fresh from the university, is that true? Bubbling with life. He could walk around the block. Is that not possible? Fix a job on Saturday when it's available. I've noticed that. He had no reason not to come to work on any day. A promise of sugar is enough to have growth on the home. Is that not possible? He's excited to meet everybody. That was 24. At 28, 29, he gets married. Then you fix that same Saturday work again. Are we together, friends? And the guy tells you, why can't you do this on Friday? What has changed? Status, priorities. What else again? Family life, responsibilities, priorities. Then before you know what was happening, Ola came, Jamila came. And Fatia showed up. Am I communicating here? And then before you know what's happening, it's going to be a huge responsibility. So the budget, therefore, if the budget of that set is not matching with the increased responsibility, there's not going to cut off or something. Am I communicating with you? So if you have that play around over time, maybe they're around 25% or 30% of that space, then your critical success factor in that market begins to be looked at your pricing. Am I communicating, friends? Because if the pricing is not important, if you're not looking at your pricing, you may lose a chunk of your market. That is why you notice that for that generation, the most intense competition among all players in that industry is price. Is pricing. Are you aware of that? The game plan is to put your money. Is it dressing for me as an HR person? Of course it is. Because if pricing is going to be subject to the practices of the guys who are working, then I also need to be sure that I'm ready to bring in people that understand the dynamics of the market. Okay. So, I need to identify the critical success indicators across each of the lines of solutions. And then I can build the strategic talent trust. The STTs to pursue this, which means I cannot develop an effective STT if I do not have an understanding of my LOS and what? And sales. So when you start looking at your performance indicators as a business, but as you talk to the board, and the board is not hearing you. You talk to your board, they're not really hearing you because they're not speaking to what they want to hear. Speak to one of my lines of business. I'm telling you, because we produce this for this market, we need to have talent. They can connect with what they're talking about. Then you don't show up and tell them we need to do this and that. Do what? And I'm doing something else. You draw your metrics, you see the gaps, you see that we are. You tell them to mix it up. Something is going to happen, but you're not communicating rightly because they're not situating it within the needs of the business. Right? So the lines of business will be clear to me, and then I will look at the success indicators. Then the SCT will work. What happens next? And then how can I help to develop a proper workplace culture? Friends, I'm helping us to build this background because if we go to the numbers we're going to do in the next 4 minutes now, you can see where the numbers are relevant to work. If not, if we run through this, so having done that, having done that, then what do I do? I know that I have to look at the long-term strategy. Is it important to have long-term strategies? Yes. What does it say to you as an election person? Feature has become part of practice today. You know, when you are sitting down at the chair as head of HR or head of strategy, whatever the role is, and you're not seeing the future, you are out of the business. The future is now the selling proposition. And the future talks about the long-term strategy. The long-term strategy, look at what we use for that. We use such things as rolling plans, is that true? Strategic plans for 5 years and all those stuff. Then from that, you bring up what you call the annual, or what do you call it again? What do you call the annual? The extraction on a yearly basis of plans. AOPs. What of AOP? Absolutely. You should know this time, so. Business plans. Absolutely. ABPs. Annual business plans. Brilliant. The annual business plans, the annual operating plans. Friends, know the terminology that sits well with your business and know what it is and know the content of it. Annual business is an extraction from a longer instrument. That longer instrument is the long term. Then look at your alternatives. For every strategy, you must come up with your strategic pursuit. Clarifying and identifying alternatives and identifying the ones to run with and the best one that achieves your long-term objective. Okay? Then, these are all principles to talk about. On the side of preparation, strategy, internal elements, whatever, past successful strategies, also important for you. Okay? How do you generate your strategies? Of course, you must do that with the team and make it as broad as possible. Do not have narrow strategies. Make your strategies as broad as possible, and then it will speak to a bigger solution for the organization. Alright? Then, examine environmental factors and show you all of this. You know them? I think you know them. Okay? And then we have all of this will happen. Culture change. Culture change. Talk to me. What is happening with culture change? I can't remember how many times our own children have jumped to that. Because we guide them with security guards. When they see that one, what will happen?
So we have a generation that is technically strong in terms of innovation, but when it has to do with the difficulty of execution, they work with us. So they're not doing the grand crunching because they've not gone through the difficulties that most of us went through that turned to what we have today. Alright? That's one thing about it. So let's go to numbers. Okay, good. Now we have the numbers. These are the three phases in strategy formulation. Phase 1 is called the input stage. Phase 2 is called the matching stage. And phase 3 is the decision stage. Now, for the first one, effect is the first thing. Internal factor evaluation matrix. I'll show you the components of that matrix. And then we have FA. External factor evaluation matrix. Then we have the CPM, the competency profiles matrix. All these matrices must sit with you as an HR person because they are the framework that delivers the strategy. What is the makeup of this one? Your internal factor evaluation. Evaluate the firm's environment, internal environment, and to review its strengths and what? Weaknesses. In your SWOT analysis. Remember your SWOT? Remind me again. S for what? W for what? So catch it. So when I'm looking at the internal, of those things you mentioned, 2 are internal, is that true? Yeah. And 2 are external. The internal ones, when you put them in analysis, that is what we call the internal factor evaluation. Simple. Then the external ones, which are what? Opportunities and threats. When you put them into the framework, I'm going to show you the framework now. That is that is a breaking down of SWOT into 2. Alright? Then we have the competency profile matrix, which is very, very interesting. It delivers the strengths and weakness of all major competitors in that industry on a single page. So I look at all the external players, all the major players in my industry. I put their strengths and weaknesses together on one page and benchmark with mine. And I use a very simple straight line metric that gives me 100% evaluation. And I see where the gaps are. That will help me to develop solutions. Are we together, friends? Yes. Okay, so run through. Now the internal and external factor evaluation matrices were developed by Fred David in a book called Strategic Management. Advice you to look for that. It speaks a lot to you. So please say that I look for that by Fred David. Okay? It speaks so much to this, and you need to start thinking the business so it can remain relevant as the business grows. Are we together? I want to see more HR people becoming CEOs. Are we together? I'm asking, are we together? Yes. Don't end your career as an HR director. And be able to run organizations because the talent is your hands. And that's what I want to do. Okay? Even though the tools are correct and this they do the best job. They're very simple, but they give you very clear indicators. What tools are there in identity? So, we need a very careful how we do it. Okay, let's take an example of it. Watch this. Now remember about all the stories and the quarters, 5 forces. Anyone know about that 5 forces before? Even banking does have, because of the licensing requirements. They are not possible. Okay? Aviation, because of the cost involved. Huge funds. What else again? Oil and gas. Particularly if it has to do with, is it downstream or upstream now? Upstream. Great, crazy stuff. Because, oftentimes it's a huge. Now, if that's the case with me, and I have weak suppliers bargaining power, if my suppliers don't have as much bargaining power as I have, that's fun, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because that gives me a lot of advantage. If that's the way of our business has a super bargaining power ahead of the suppliers. And then we also have weak buyers bargaining power. We define the price. Am I communicating here? I say to you, this product is 12,000, you have no choice. You must buy. We had it before in this country. Is that true? I think now we are trying to break it away. Now the buyers have a bit of choice. Before then, 90 was powerful.
I had an uncle who was a NITEC contractor. You know what's called NITEC contractor? His job is to get you to, it will help you to get NITEC line. That's his job. Because when you want to get NITEC line, you need to book like 12 months in advance. You now start going through the processes. But today, it takes nothing to get in there. Okay, so let's talk to that. And if you have no competition, then which means my profit is high, I can afford to pay as much as I can afford to pay. My reward first with this in my own industry, and the people competing for my talents are operating here. Talk to me, what will happen? If SAPS PLC, not PLC, Limited, is faced with this reality, but I have a strong competition for my talents operating here, what will I do? What will happen to me? The people looking for my talent are operating in where they are?
Higher attrition.
My own operating business is here. What do you think will happen to me?
Attrition.
Talk to me quickly.
Attrition. There will be workforce drift.
There will be what? High
Attrition.
attrition rates possible, yes? Talk to me. What will happen again?
Your bottom line will be very low.
My bottom line will be very low. So my negotiation skills for compensation is going to be stretched. What will be happening to me? Talk to me, friends. I can be acquired. In fact, somebody can just come and look at me and buy me over. Is it not possible? I'm in trouble. Talk to me. What is going to be happening to me? I'm going to have intense talent pressure to retain my top talents. And a lot of us are facing it. How do you deal with that? If that is what's happening to you, your business is under pressure because your business operating in this quadrant, and those who are looking for your human capital are operating here. And you are the HR director. Every day you come, the line manager just calls you, madam, 3 people just resigned just today. Before you realize that 3 people resigned, as you have been talking to the line manager himself is resigning. I don't know the same one just informed you. So what do? How do you deal with talent retention with your measure of that situation? Talk to me. I should resign.
That's not the solution.
All right, let's push it. So what do we do? Talk to me quickly, friend. What do we do? We don't have all the time. Waiting, I go do. What do I do? Let's talk to me. Now, that's a very interesting thing. That is where the beauty of a HR practitioner comes in. I'm dealing with a company operating the low end of the competitive stretch, which means in terms of the competitive stretch, they are disadvantaged. Then what do I do? Yes?
You cannot compete based on salary.
I can't compete based on salary.
No.
Yes?
So you have to compete based on some other things, that or value item also to that.
Exactly.
Also, you have to build your own talent.
Okay.
Because you can't buy. Buying will be
Okay. Okay, fine. That's possible. Yes, ma'am? Review the retention strategy. Review it. Upwards means where now?
Most of our strategy in place, we need to be able to convince the management to toe the same line. Because they are the ones that are going to...
I tell the management to catch up with the guys here.
To carry them along, we need to respect to that.
Talk to me. I should tell them to operate at this level. Yes, ma'am?
What we stand for as a business, there's certainly going to be things that we're doing there.
Absolutely.
That will possibly be making it frustrating for some people. So, for example, they're very successful, they have very complex structures, and you have people here who are hungry. Okay, so it's saying, okay, so we're giving you a very, very empowered, very innovative type
Absolutely.
of so you're literally
Absolutely.
feeding that hunger.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, you're not hearing her. You need to hear me. Please hear her.
It's redefining what exactly we stand for as a business.
Okay? So define what we stand for as a business. Yes?
So going back to your structure, where you talked about values assessment.
Absolutely.
So who are we? We're small.
Yeah.
We're hungry.
Absolutely.
We are passionate about what we do.
Absolutely.
What is it that those guys are doing that makes them so successful?
Absolutely.
What can we identify as
Absolutely.
opportunities that we
Absolutely.
can then leverage
Absolutely.
as a business?
Absolutely.
So for example, you then have very, very successful companies who have got complex structures, who are paying people very, very much, but of course again you're not being very innovative because you're successful. What we need to do is to feed the hunger and the, if you like, potential for growth create that kind of environment in this other low profit type business. And of course, again, attract people who are hungry to grow, to develop, and of course, again, we can't compete on pay, but we're competing as far as innovation is concerned.
Innovation.
As far as the environment, really, that will help people to say, look, I'm part of this.
Absolutely. 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 No chocolate, but you can at least encourage her. She's just told it a very simple pattern, and that's exactly what we'll do. Let's go back again to what makes us who we are, or who we were. And then we'll now define again who should we now be on account of the realities we're dealing with. And knowing fully well that we cannot compete in terms of pay, then how do we differentiate our competitiveness in the market? And there's no simpler way to do that than via innovation. To some extent, you might even need to modify your talent numbers. We'll call it right sizing. Are we together? Deliberately reviewing the numbers of heads and developing people that have the capability for multi-skill or multitasking within your space, such that you end up saving in number of heads and probably improving in terms of pay. Are we together? If we differentiate ourselves and make ourselves indispensable, we probably will end up being part of the value chain propositions for the big players. So if we want to do that, then I need to bring in talents that are self-motivated, entrepreneurial talents, who have the capacity to deliver what will make them attractive to the big players. When the big players have put you on their own line of solution, naturally, your earnings will grow. Are we together? Are we together? Yes. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say to myself, I can't compete in salary here, but I can make myself attractive for these guys to depend on me for their sustenance. If I do achieve that, then these guys keep feeding my ability and paying premium for what they would have paid on the basic market rates. Because I deliver premium service, I deliver differential service, and I can earn the differential fee. If that is my strength, then I can up my game in that market. Are we together? The mentality of that HR person is completely not generic anymore. And that's the HR person that should lead this conference. Someone who leads this conference, who takes back the entire function of the business, analyze the business activity in the market, and say to himself, we are doing well, we can do better, or we are actually going to be eating up and we don't want to be eating. Am I communicating with it? Yeah. And then we'll try that. Quickly because of our time. To deploy the CIPM, the competitive profiles, is that matrix. Identify certain parameters I want to evaluate. These are parameters. You can change that for your own organization. I just took brand reputation, level of product integration, range of products, successful introductions, market share, sales per employee. How do you calculate sales per employee? Quickly, yes, talk to me. Sales per employee. Sales per employee. Sales per employee, quickly, how do you calculate that? Total sales divided by number of employees. Very simple. Okay, that's one of the simplest metrics in nature. Total sales. It is not sales per sales team. Are you okay with that? Sales per sales team is simple. Total sales divided by number of your sales units. Simple. Okay, let's show. So I have all of that put together. Then I rate them. I provide a rating based on the uniqueness of my industry. And my rating can vary. I use a maximum of 4 or 5, and I rate some parameters to be 2, some to be 4, based on what it means to my industry. Then I'll put my company here. On this rating, then my company scores this. This is all scoring based on 1. Everything here is just scored, not based on my rating. So I've rated this. This is my rating, this is my score for my company. If I multiply my rating to the weight, it gives me my score. So if the weight is this is the rating for my own organization. Rate times weight gives me score. My total score here shows up at 2.44. That is where we are. I rate company B, a competition to us, and I run it through, they have a 2.94. And I rate company C, they are 2.71. Technically, each of these competitions have a much more stronger rating than we do. Okay? And now look at the content. What gave us the variance? Where did we have the variation? Okay? And look at where our strength is most. Of our parameters here, probably came very well on what parameter? That's on 0.45. What is that supposed to be? Online presence. We're very good online. We have young people who are talking at the whole space about visibility is clear. Alright? Okay, that's where we have our highest point. We're not alone. Company B also has a strong online presence. Company C has more than presence. That's not possible here. Based on this, I can accumulate that and I can go through that. Okay? Now, let's work. So, there are critical things in using this tool, because I'm going to match that score to the next score and give you the average performance. Okay? And these are the benefits I'm going to have from that. Alright? When I do my input stage, I'm looking at basic information, not complicated information. I'm looking at strategies to quantify subjectivity in the process. Most HR functions are very subjective, true or false? It is necessary for you to quantify the subjectivity. So let's imagine, these are 4 factors. In factor combination, the SO, the WO, the ST, and the WT. The SO aligns your strengths to speak to your opportunities. Okay? We're going to use that again to go back to that number we just did. Then your WO aligns your weaknesses to be addressed in view of the opportunities. Which means I have weaknesses that will probably stall my ability to access opportunities. So how do I deal with my internal weaknesses to make myself able to take advantage of opportunities I'm facing? To have the weaknesses and threats. Okay? Those are 4 combinations. Look at it. What do they do? I'm using a firm's internal strength to take advantage of external opportunities. Okay? My WO, I'm improving my internal weaknesses because I need to take advantage of my what? External opportunities. Alright? Then I have my SC strategies. I'm using the strengths of my organization to avoid or reduce the impact of external threats. I'm using what I have to prevent what will happen to me. I went to MESC in HR. And MESC then had a very interesting global framework. It's called Constant Care. Anyone from MESC around here? Yeah. Okay, great. Constant Care. It says, no loss must hit us that we can avoid with constant care. No loss. That business has been there for years. It's an internal mantra that the business will never want to be hit by any loss that they can avoid with constant care. That's why in terms of talent mix, before they bring into MESC, you must do the PI, that's predictive indexing, and they will be sure that you have the mentality to work in MESC. No story, they're not interested. You can be the first class of your university, you are first class, and the PI tells them that when you show up, you are in crisis. They will never talk to you. For example, if you are to come into a finance role in MESC, and your PI shows that you have your B is high, B is your social orientation, which means that you are a socialite. They will be very scared to put you in charge of their money. Am I communicating here? Because when you show up in a party, say, yesterday we made 2 billion, just 2 billion. Because you only talk what you have. Am I communicating here? But if it's for a sales role, and you have that kind of high B, you say put in there. Am I communicating here? Because anywhere you meet, let's ship your goods. You talk what you have. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's a very simple problem. So for that, and how do I use my strengths? And the business is so structured for that way. It's a simple metrics. Guys, go back to your businesses and look for metrics that enable you to deliver your strengths. And don't compromise on them. Get the best of talent to deliver the vision of the organization. Are we together on this? Are we together on this? All right. Then the last framework talks about my weaknesses to my strengths. How do I address my weaknesses to avoid being overtaken by the threats of my environment I'm playing in. And they're very, very important things to do. So let's look at a quick practical example. Developing this. Okay? Next sheet. Opportunities is what?
It can be dependent.
I have excess working capacity. It can be a strength, can also be a burden. It actually means I have not utilized all that I have. But it's a good strength for me because I can respond to demand. Alright? Then I'm facing an external situation. This is internal to me. And I'm facing a situation where 20% of annual growth is cell phone industry business. The market I'm playing is the cell phone market. And there's 20% growth. Are we saying that? What is that to me? Opportunity. I have a capacity. Are we together, friends? To respond to that opportunity. So what do? I can acquire competition because I have funds to do that and turn them in and utilize what they have. What else can I do again? I can also stretch my internal capacity by deploying it on a much more larger scale. Okay? Now, if I have insufficient capacity, is that not a weakness? Exit of two major foreign competitors from the market. Is that not an opportunity? We have weakness within, and there are two key players decided to walk away from Nigerian markets. What will I do? Talk to me. I pursue what? Horizontal integration, and by doing what? Buying up their facilities. They are going already, they don't want to stay here. So if I'm going to buy up their facilities and retain their talents, HR, what will happen to us? Talk to me quickly. Growth. What will HR be doing? What's the language?
Cultural integration.
Cultural integration, due diligence before the engagement is not possible. Check out their skill set. Why are they going away? Maybe they have the wrong people. I don't know if I'm communicating here. Something will be triggering walk away. Nobody wants to walk away from an opportunity. Are we together? I need to know that. Then if I'm bringing them in, I must do a proper integration framework. Matching talent to meet and making them understand who we are. Profiling them to be sure that they can situate themselves within our job demands. Again, your profiling tool talks to you. People use different ones. MBTI, DISC, PI, and other stuff. Of course, I'm exposed to almost all of this. In my practice, I found that PI speaks to the job. MBTI speaks to psychometric framework. How do I situate myself in an environment and therefore I can convert an environment to workspace? But the PI speaks to job. So I use the PI most of the time. Okay? All right. Then, my R&D is very strong. Strong R&D, there's a future. I'm not communicating here. If young adults are decreasing, we will have more older people than young people. Opportunity for talent access becomes reduced. Are we together, friends? What do? Develop new products for older adults. Better move to where the market is. Because the market I'm targeting is already disappearing. And then we have poor employee morale. Is that not a weakness? Then we have strong union activity. That's what? A threat. Your employees internal are very demotivated. Your union are strong. Talk to me, friends.
Right.
What do I need to do? Address my employee benefits. It's sustainable to do that. Number one, I'm addressing an immediate situation. I have a very strong union. I have a very demotivated. Oh, Mike, okay. Sorry, this Mike. Okay. Oh, sorry. I have a very strong. She's asking, how sustainable could this be? If I have weak employees and I have strong union and I'm developing an employee benefit package, how long can I sustain that? Okay, and I said, what would I do? Remember, in contingency planning, you saw that slide I showed? Contingency planning says respond to the needs. Why I also build that into the long term. Yeah. So I first of all respond to the need and I can build it into the long term. Okay, I want to take few questions and please, I want to take few questions. And the rule for the questions, and the questions should be questions that you are convinced I can answer. If you're not convinced I can answer, my fellow will answer the questions. Yes, any questions or clarification? Okay. Okay, clarification from the fellow.
On the very first slide, the HR lines process. Okay. You can go back to that. You see, I think we've been looking at SAPS Limited as a company that is struggling. In a situation where you have a company that is good and running well, successful. I'm looking at that guy. When you get there,
is the company successful?
Yes, the company is doing very well.
Okay.
Now, my comment, if I get that one, yes. See, when you talk of values, values are something that you hold on to, comrade. It is like a guiding light for the organization. Now, so this year, after impact evaluation,
okay,
right? In most cases, because your value will still remain what it is.
Absolutely.
You may not be changing, that note may not go to your values.
Okay.
Because if the business is also doing well, you don't have to tweak with it. So I was looking at this your impact evaluation. Should speak to that, or better still, even your HR strategy.
Okay.
So that's my comment.
Okay, fine. Excellent. Thank you so much for that. All right, my idea was that each of these were speaking into a chain. Okay, so that was my values will speak to my mission and define my base, and then it is when I have this audit, I cannot discover if something is right or wrong. Then I can immediately do the analysis and then come up with the condition planning, and then go back to the measure, and then go back and then take the start calling again. So they are rather speaking into and not necessarily that they would change. Because this obviously defines who we are. And this should be constant, except we have decided to change who we are. Okay, so if I decide tomorrow to stop looking black like I'm looking now, I could change mine. And if I change because too bright, I probably need to get a very dark look, to look straight. Yes, thanks so much for that. I appreciate it. Yes, talk to me. Chris Besser on the back. Now, you're going to get the material. Hello, friends. You're going to get this material. When you go to this material and you run into any troubled water, call me. Better. Okay, if you have into troubled water, don't call me on phone, just send me. I will respond. Yes, sir. In a situation where a company or you can contact CIPM, they will. Yes, sir. Excess capacity operates in the company. Excess capacity operates in the company. Yeah. Wait a minute, sir. Excess capacity is a function of we have more than we are utilizing.
Yes. And the situation outside is that the market is saturated.
Market is saturated.
So yeah, supply more than
there's excess products in the market.
Yes.
So the price will do what?
What? Price will fall, quite correct. But what strategy will you apply since?
I already have excess capacity.
Yes.
And there's market pressure. Yes. There's excess demand on the market. There's excess supply. And then which means the product is already crashing. And I also have unutilized capacity. Yeah. What will I do? I can do one of three things. Talk to me. What's the first thing I will do? I can share my resources. I can share my utilized capacity. You know, that is what happens when the telecoms businesses decided to come together to share the cost of business station license. It's a very simple thing. The team can serve more. So why not you lease it out and then get it to that? That's because one. But number two, I can refine my business model. I can recreate product line, remember the line of solutions, that can still utilize what I have to deliver a different line of solution. That's what I mean. Are we okay, sir? Thank you. Yes, one more question. We are off. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Sebastine. My email, okay, let me just.
Are you done? On behalf of CIPM, I want to thank each and every one of us. I wish we had more time to interact. But frankly, the issue on board will even frankly require a retreat to dissect it, bring out the peculiarities of your own organization, and find solutions that can fit. So hopefully we're going to take it up further from here. If you have questions, kindly write them down. And then he has also asked that we should get in touch with him. I believe there's a lot more we can gain, but he has laid the foundation. And we please give him a round of applause. To end the session, we have a fellow of the Institute who is going to present his gift from the Institute to Mr. Sebastine. I now invite Mr. Shogo to please come forward.
one of the challenges I usually have at functions like this is when you have several breakout rooms for people to talk. And then you have a problem of choice. And when you come out, you begin to wonder, have I really missed anything? I'm sure this morning, every one of us who has listened to Sebastine will say, I will go to somebody else and say, you missed. Because he has not only done justice to the topic, he has made us to be more interested, more or less whetting our appetite, to want to listen and have more. So on behalf of the President and Chairman of Council, I'd like to present this to you as a token of appreciation. You've done very well this morning, and I want us to give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
One last announcement. Your breakfast is in Executive Hall. The hall just right there. Could we please move in there urgently? It's for 30 minutes. Thank you, and do have a